evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Tuesday, the 26th day of May. This is CTV News. Tonight is a new Common Council going to make public safety its priority. A remarkable rescue. A service dog saved from a house heavily damaged by fire. And the Hobbit House. Residents love the latest addition to their neighborhood.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. There are high hopes and higher expectations for St. John's new city council, soon to be sworn in. Both new and veteran councillors acknowledge there's a long list of issues to deal with, but as CTV's Avery McRae tells us, none of them seem more pressing than public safety.
At Avenue B Harm Reduction on the heart of Waterloo Street, they know firsthand that St. Johners don't feel as safe as they once did.
What we're seeing is more complexity. People are navigating homelessness, trauma, poverty, grief, substance use, mental health challenges, and increasingly toxic drug supply.
But with the new city council mixed with both familiar and new faces set to be sworn to their seats Monday, Laura McNeil is cautiously optimistic for positive change.
There's a lot of concerns for sure. It's just that we try to frame them in like a human-centered design way where we are not making the folks the problem. The problem is the systemic gaps.
The city has made efforts to improve the sense of safety with its Housing for All strategy and new community safety services team. It's made a difference for business owners like Alex Coffin.
The visibility of the security that they've hired has been good. I do feel like when I do visit other cities that, we do have a very safe uptown here in St. John.
Eric Savoy was elected as a first-time councillor in Ward 3, where the bulk of the concerns reside. He says the best way to help residents feel safe is by keeping them informed.
Public deserves to know what the plan is and understand how we're working together, how we're making progress, and importantly, where there's barriers, what are we going to do to bring down those barriers?
He says public safety was the top concern he heard during the campaign.
We heard loud and clear that they want a city council that hears citizens' concerns and takes bold action to make the changes that we need.
Laura McNeil says simple ideas like more public washroom access, safe sharp disposals, and simple support sites where folks in crisis could go would go a long way in easing the safety concerns. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Didn't take long for Halifax councillors to shoot down a proposal to make weekday ferry service free next month.
I didn't bring this on a whim. We're 5 months into 50% of this service being unavailable.
Dartmouth councillor Sam Austin pitching the idea as the city continues to deal with delayed and canceled ferry runs. 15-minute runs were finally restored last week after months of half-hour service, but another significant repair killed that again.
Having 15-minute service was a luxury. In the past, we've always had 30-minute service. So I don't know why we're not saying 30-minute service is still good service.
If a strategic investment in a sixth ferry is something we need to do now, there's that question, like where is our ferry service heading?
$5,000, but was defeated at the council table. Man accused of sexually assaulting more than a dozen people at a seniors' home in St. John made his first court appearance this morning. 69-year-old Kevin McGrath is facing 14 counts of sexual assault related to incidents in December and January at Loch Lomond Villa. Not surprisingly, the courtroom was full today, but the victims' families and Loch Lomond's CEO declined to speak with reporters. Police had previously told CTV News the accused was a family member of a resident at the nursing home. He will be back in court in late June. And a New Brunswick senior is facing child sex abuse and exploitation charges. Police say the investigation began in 2024, leading to a search warrant and an arrest back in December. The 75-year-old man was charged yesterday. Trial is set now for February. Two 15-year-old hockey players charged in Nova Scotia with sexual assault after an alleged hazing incident have pleaded not guilty. One youth appeared in Truro Court, the other represented by their lawyer. The crimes are alleged to have taken place in the fall. Police have said there are 3 victims. The accused, who were all 14 at the time of the alleged offenses, were charged in February. They're due back in court at the end of June to set a date for a trial.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A happy story of survival from Cape Breton, where a service dog was pulled from a building heavily damaged by fire. The entire episode caught on camera. Tonight, the pooch is getting plenty of love, and so are his rescuers. Here's CTV's Ryan McDonald.
Oh my God, stay inside, bye.
When firefighters and people watching from the ground realized a dog was trapped in a top floor after a fully involved structure fire in North Sydney.
Oh, what a sin.
The next step was a climb up the ladder to try and rescue the animal.
The dog made himself aware to us, actually. He poked a hole in the wall on the 3rd floor and stuck his head out.
A short time later, the dog was helped out onto the roof, while crews below considered casting a net for the animal to jump onto. The dog was ultimately brought down the stairs to safety by a firefighter from inside.
He was a service animal who was a very important animal to the person that owned him, and that alone is worth it.
It looked really bad. Like when I was up there seeing the flames, it looked really bad.
Doug Ivey took this drone video of the fire, which fire crews were called to shortly before 3 yesterday afternoon. Ivey says that it's hard to believe the dog was able to survive a fire that reduced the floor that it was trapped on to charred rubble.
You can't imagine how much heat, the smoke, and just the sheer panic of what to do, like what was going through that dog's mind at the time. It's hard to believe.
Today, security is on site here, along with investigators from the fire marshal's office, as officials try to determine just what caused this sizable structure fire. The fire chief says the woman who was home at the time got out safely, but unfortunately a cat died and a firefighter was injured at the scene.
He knows he saved him. Look at him. Oh my God.
Still, the efforts that were made to go back inside to save this dog after the fire had been extinguished have made these first responders the toast of the town today.
I don't think any of the guys any of our folks have bought a coffee today anywhere, so it's all a good thing.
A dramatic rescue caught on camera, and one that for this lucky pet had a happy ending. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, North Sydney.
Another long-term care home is joining the 6-week-old strike in Nova Scotia. Canadian Union of Public Employees says workers at Glenhaven Manor in New Glasgow are expected to strike tomorrow. This will be the 36th home to see its workers take job action. It brings the total number of striking workers to about 3,600. At last report, no talks were ongoing or planned. As expected, legislation tabled today to create a consumer advocate for power in New Brunswick. The energy minister sees this as a voice for small business and consumers, but critics are not convinced it'll do anything to make electricity more affordable in that province.
I don't think it's going to be a good or a bad. I think it's just going to be one of these neutral things. But people in New Brunswick don't want neutral. They say, what are you doing to stabilize rates? What are you doing to lower rates? That's the real question, and this government is failing on that.
To be honest, NB Power does deal with a lot of it, but I think at this point we need to build that other avenue, because sometimes they don't answer. We still get emails that I didn't get my answer. I want more.
Minister Legacy referring to consumer complaints about the utility there. If the bill does go through, the new Consumer Advocate Office could be up and running by next April. Final farewell to Robert Irving today, who died of cancer last week. The co-CEO of JD Irving Limited has been widely praised by individuals, organizations, and even governments. Today's funeral was well attended and in some ways as unique as the man himself. A trumpet medley of songs of hope, part of the program at the Saunders Irving Chapel at Kingswood University. The event was closed to reporters but live streamed on YouTube. Fiercely proud of his maritime roots, the proceedings included a poem written by Irving's mother and read by his sister.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful New Brunswick. of forest mountains green, with lakes and winding rivers to gentle flowing streams.
My mother gave us a great foundation for life, and Rob, of course, and the rest of us, great foundation for life, and in the church, in her faith. And, well-documented fact, she was Rob's biggest Wildcat supporter in the family. No doubt about it.
Among his many achievements, Irving founded the Moncton Wildcats, rarely missed a game. Today's very public goodbye comes ahead of a private family burial. Robert will be laid to rest with his parents at the family chapel in Bucktouche. A PEI hockey legend, longtime NHL player and Maritime junior coach Forbes Kennedy has died. Born in Dorchester, New Brunswick, raised in the island, Forbes played 603 games in the NHL, often as the enforcer for Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, and Toronto. Was inducted into the PEI Sports Hall of Fame while still playing back in 1968. He spent decades coaching, first in the U.S., then back home with the Charlottetown Abbeys, later the Summerside Western Capitals. Forbes Kennedy was 90. All right, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll explore how women face an increased level of hostility on the job these days. Coming up next, though, focus on wellness.
We know some of the most vulnerable Nova Scotians are using this clinic for really high-quality care.
A mental health clinic will continue to train professionals and serve low-income Maritimers. That's next. Stay with us. A mental health clinic in Halifax will continue to train professionals and serve low-income Nova Scotians, securing a future that was in doubt. CTV's Jesse Thomas explains.
Since it opened in 2023, the Dalhousie Centre for Psychological Health has helped 507 people access mental health and addiction care, many who otherwise wouldn't have been able to access this kind of treatment.
Everyone that comes through the door is low income, and so by definition they don't have enough insurance, or they don't have any insurance to cover these kind of services in private practice. So the other options would be the public system.
The demand for public mental health and addiction services are high. Part of the Houston government's Action for Health plan is to introduce universal addictions and mental health coverage. The minister said today's announcement and the $6.2 million for the mental health and addictions clinic is part of that commitment.
We know some of the most vulnerable Nova Scotians are using this clinic for really high-quality care, getting that from highly trained clinicians. So that's a really positive thing, I think. So
the Dalhousie Centre for Psychological Health is also a training ground for mental health students and residency trainees who provide the care. Students, they say, are seeking out the Dalhousie Clinic to do their training for the variety of patients they'll care for.
Working with clients from all sorts of different cultural groups is really important. Whereas at another clinic, that may be, they may end up with a client from a varied cultural group, but here we know that that is a definite exposure to different cultural groups that they'll have. And that's actually what I think is attracting people here.
Since opening in 2023, nearly 70 students have trained in the center. Referrals to the health center come from more than 30 community partner agencies they work with across Halifax. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Time for a quick little break here, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Today kind of felt like a bonus day, didn't it? Kaylin Mitchell will tell us what to expect over the weekday hump and into the weekend when we come back. Tuesday night, 26th day of May today, and a lot of Maritimers not complaining at all because today kind of felt like sort of a bonus.
Well, it depends on exactly what part of the Maritimes you are in. Certainly in New Brunswick, western areas of Nova Scotia, it was sunny, warm today, but Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton. Even though there was some sunshine around, temperatures were held cooler in a northwest wind. At this time of the year, it's all about where those winds are coming in off of cooler ocean waters, and with a north-northwest wind today coming in off the Gulf of St. Lawrence, the Cabot Strait, the Northumberland Strait. It was that eastern part of the Maritimes that was on the cooler side. Taking a look at our weather systems map, we do have some showers making their way in and across the region for tonight. And some of those showers going to be around for the start of the day for tomorrow. Highest chance of showers first thing in the morning around Prince Edward Island and the east of Nova Scotia. Cloudy with sunny breaks in the forecast for Wednesday, but your best chance for sunny breaks will be in the southwest of New Brunswick and western areas of Nova Scotia, where the sun does shine through. For that part of the Maritimes, temperatures will be a little bit warmer, but even those locations will have a chance of a shower through the afternoon into the evening. And for any given community in the Maritimes, Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday evening, the chance of a shower is about 40%. And then some showers and a little bit of rain going to become more widespread for Thursday. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow will be out of the east for the province of New Brunswick between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Out of the southeast for Prince Edward Island and for Nova Scotia with some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight will still be cooler for eastern parts of the region. There between around parts of the Maritimes with low temperatures mostly between 8 and 12. And in the forecast for tomorrow, we do have temperatures cooling down a fair bit for northern areas of New Brunswick, most in the range of around 10 to 16. A little bit milder at Plaster Rock and Perth Andover, closer to 19 degrees. And around Heartland could get up to around 19. Woodstock could be close to 21 degrees for tomorrow. McAdam, St. Stephen around 24. 21 the forecast for Fredericton and St. John, and then 16 degrees for Moncton in the southeast. Prince Edward Island on Wednesday, still on the cooler side. High temperatures between 10 and 13 degrees, so the chance of some showers through the day. Same thing goes for eastern areas of Nova Scotia, and certainly cooler in Cape Breton with highs between 6 and 9 degrees. Around the low teens for the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia, and on the eastern shore, high temperatures mostly between 7 and 10. 17 for Amherst for tomorrow, though. 14 for Truro and 14 for Halifax and Dartmouth. Looking for some warmer temperatures in Nova Scotia. Low 20s for the Annapolis Valley, and parts of the south shore of the province will have some high temperatures between 17 and 20 degrees. Taking a look at the extended outlook for New Brunswick, coming up towards the end of this week, it's some more showers in the forecast for Thursday and a chance of showers on Friday. And temperatures are certainly going to be cooler than average to close out the month of May. In fact, cooler conditions extend into the end of the weekend. There's a chance of showers on Sunday, and then maybe moderate a little bit as we start working our way through early June. A mix of sun and cloud in the forecast for Monday and Tuesday of next week. The outlook for Nova Scotia has some periods of rain for Thursday, followed by some showers for Friday. Cloudy periods to start the weekend. Temperatures cool. Rain possible on Sunday, and then a mix of sun and cloud Monday and Tuesday of next week. And by then, it looks like we may start to be shaking our way out of that cooler weather pattern. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, we have some rain expected on Thursday. And then on Friday, it's a chance of showers, but high temperature near 12 degrees. Cloudy periods on Saturday with a high near 10. Chance of showers on Sunday, then a mix of sun and cloud Monday and Tuesday of next week, and hopefully at that point, Bruce, temperatures will be headed upwards.
Yeah, hopefully, for sure. Thank you, my friend. Okay, stay with us. There's a whole lot more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
So academics and community leaders have come together this week to focus on gender-based violence in the workplace. From online harassment to in-person attacks, women, especially those in public-facing jobs like politics, are facing an increased rate of hostility. As CTV's Emma Convey tells us tonight, today's conference aims to start conversations and break down some of those barriers.
Connecting for Action, a free 2-day conference at Mount St. Vincent University, focuses on gender-based violence in leadership.
Gender-based violence is an epidemic in the province, and we know it's a really difficult scenario for women and gender diverse and equity-seeking groups across the country, and we're trying to continue to find ways to to change that.
As a former politician, Mary Rita Holland has experienced this firsthand. Public interaction of the job could be difficult to navigate. She's grateful for a team that supported her, but still.
The parts that were the hardest to tolerate were the things that happened from colleagues or sort of in committee meetings, and the sort of the comments about my gender, the comments about the ways that women are sort of used in those roles to take on certain areas, certain policy areas. So, for example, anything to do with childcare or anything to do with what would be considered a woman's issue was something that came to me.
The harm became too much online, and she eventually removed herself from social media. She's not alone. Tracy Rainey, who spoke at today's conference, says politicians and councillors are leaving due to hostility.
What we really want to look at is where are the gaps, where are the loopholes in these policies, and how can they be improved to really adequately address the harassment, the intimidation, the violence that a lot of politicians are facing.
1 in 3 women and gender diverse people are affected by gender-based violence, and that creates ripples that last generations. And so it really affects us all, and I think everybody has something to learn.
Emma Convey, CTV News.
Thank you, Emma. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, we'll visit the Hobbit House in Dartmouth. It's all the neighbors are talking about. First, though, your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at St. John on this Tuesday evening. 13 degrees right now in the Port City. Kaylin Mitchell will tell you how to dress for work tomorrow when we come back. Okay, Wednesday morning, let's kick it off with the wake-up weather and Kaylin Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. So first thing in the morning, pretty cloudy conditions around the Maritimes. Morning temperatures, high single digits into the low teens. There is going to be a chance of some showers. The highest chance of showers around Prince Edward Island, northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. In the afternoon, sunny breaks, most likely in the southwest New Brunswick and western areas of Nova Scotia where the sun shines through. Temperatures will be warmer, some highs getting up into the low 20s. Much of the rest of the Maritimes for tomorrow topping out around the low to mid-teens. Bruce.
All right, thank you, my friend. Well, a homeowner in Dartmouth has turned her front lawn into a whole neighborhood attraction. As CTV's Paul DeWitt shows us tonight, she used her big imagination to build a tiny hobbit home.
Look over here. Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm a mother of 3 from Dartmouth, and this is my garden. I've lived here for 8 years, and gardening is one of my favorite things. When we moved in here, there was very little flowers or shrubs or anything, but there was the cedar bush on the corner. And that was one of the only things on the property, which I've been told by my neighbor has been here since the 70s. So it's a very old bush. This past year, the snowplow kind of did a bit of damage to it. The city was really good about it. The snowplow company was great about it. They offered to help fix it, but how do you fix a bush? So we were like, okay, what can we do creatively to make this look good while still keeping, you know, half of the bush still intact? Because my kids do play in it. So we were looking at it, and the shape of how the plow kind of pushed it in, like caved it in, looked like where like a hobbit house or a hobbit door would be. So we were like, oh, let's make a little hobbit door. The kids play in the bush anyway. Let's make a little fort out of it. The neighborhood just seems to love it. We get people taking pictures in there with their like kids and pets. A lot of people have come up to me and said how much they like it. And they knew about the damage from the plow, so I think they knew why we did it too.
We love it. My daughter and I are big fans, huge fans of the whimsy.
I had a lot of fun making it, and the kids love it so much that I wish I had actually more property so I can make more of them.
Nice job. Okay, that is your late news tonight. A reminder, if you joined us late or you'd like another look at anything you've seen, including an extended look at the Hobbit House, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening, and we sure hope to see you again tomorrow.